What if I told you the one thing that's making you successful is the one thing that's actually keeping you stuck? If you ever ended the day completely exhausted, but somehow still convinced you didn't do enough, then this episode is for you. Somewhere along the way, so many of us have started believing that being constantly busy means we're good business owners, that if we slow down, we're falling behind. But here's the reality: CEOs aren't paid to be busy, they're paid to make good decisions. Today, we're talking about breaking up with hustle validation, separating your identity from productivity, and learning how to lead your business with intention instead of urgency, because you are more than your to do list. So let's get into it. Hey, friend, welcome back to the podcast. Today, I want to have a real conversation with you. Not like we hadn't had real conversations in the past, but I think this is a conversation I wish more entrepreneurs have behind the scenes. Let's be real for a second. Have you gotten to the end of your workday, closed your laptop, and looked around and thought, I'm exhausted, but somehow I still don't feel like I did enough? Well, if that hit a little too close to home, I want you to know you're not alone. So many entrepreneurs are carrying that same quiet pressure every single day. And most of the time, they're carrying it quietly because from the outside, everything looks fine. So you're showing up. You're still doing the things. You're servicing your clients. You're still making decisions, answering messages, posting content. I know that feeling. Managing the details and trying to keep the whole thing going. Somewhere along the way, a lot of us started believing that our value is measured by how productive we are. We started wearing busy like a badge of honor, which unfortunately that will lead us to burnout. We have that packed calendar, a full inbox, that never ending to do list, the late nights, the I just need to finish one more thing type of moments. And without even realizing it, we can start treating all of our busyness like proof that we care, proof that we're committed, proof that we are building something real. I raise my hand to that. But today, I want to gently challenge that belief. What if being busy is not the same as being a great CEO? Think about it. So let's talk about when productivity becomes your identity. Come clean for a second. Entrepreneurs fall into this mindset trap that we quietly let our productivity become our identity, not just something we do, but something we use to decide that we're doing well. When productivity becomes your identity, rest starts to feel irresponsible. How many times do you feel like, oh, I can't take a break or anything like that? So space starts to feel suspicious. A slower day starts to feel like failure. And even when nothing is actually wrong, maybe your mood for the day depends on questions like this: how many emails have I answered? How many clients have you booked? How many tasks have you checked off? Whether whether you did enough today. And listen to these things, because they do matter. Of course, emails need responses, clients need support, tasks need to get done. But the problem is this: your to do list will never actually be finished. I look at my planner right now and think of all the things I got to go through, and it never ends. So there will always be another email, there will always be another task, there will always be another idea, any other fires to put out, because that's what we do as business owners. But here's the thing: there will always be another opportunity to consider and another problem to solve. So if your confidence depends on completing everything, you'll spend your entire entrepreneurial journey feeling like you're behind, even when you're making progress. And that will become exhausting. And it is an exhausting way to build a business. Now, I don't want that for you. I definitely don't want that for myself. So I don't want that for you, because I want us to build something beautiful. And if you feel like you're constantly running behind, you feel like you're disappointing yourself. And that's not even the case at all. So there is a subtle yet powerful shift that happens when you begin thinking like a CEO instead of the busiest employee in your own business. Because here's the truth: a business can be full of activity and still not be moving in the direction that you want it to go. Think about that. A busy entrepreneur asks, what can I get done today? An intentional CEO asks, what actually moves my business forward? You see the difference? This is what we have to be mindful of and be more intentional about. So that one question changes everything because leadership is not about doing more. Leadership is deciding about what matters most. I know this can feel a little uncomfortable, especially if you're used to measuring your success by how much you can carry. But being a CEO of your business means you're allowed to pause. And trust me, you will need it. And you're allowed to choose. You're allowed to ask, is this really mine to do right now? Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is not anything else on your to-do list. And that's okay. Sometimes it's removing the thing that is keeping you distracted, drained, or stuck, or in reaction mode. So if you remove it, pick up on that vibe. Look at what's moving ahead for you. So that means that you might not, go along with a new project. You might turn it down because even though it looks good on paper, it doesn't fit your capacity. It might be delaying a launch because your nervous system and your schedule is telling the truth. It may mean letting something be good enough instead of perfect so you can keep moving without burning yourself out. A lot of us were raised with these messages that sound like this: work harder, stay later, push through, keep grinding, don't slow down, don't fall behind. Sound familiar? And those messages followed us into entrepreneurship. So even when no one is standing over our shoulder, we still feel like we have to prove that we're working hard enough. Now, let me be clear. The problem is not hard work. Building a business requires commitment. And I'll say that again. Building a business absolutely requires commitment. It also requires discipline and it also requires follow through. The problem comes when we begin believing our value depends on constantly proving how hard we're working. That's when hard work stops being a healthy commitment and starts becoming a way to earn permission to rest, permission to be proud, or permission to feel. Your business does not need you to be exhausted. It needs you to be present. It needs you to make thoughtful decisions. It needs your creativity. It needs your vision. It needs your leadership and your razor focus on what truly matters. And those things don't really come from a nervous, overextended, constantly reacting version of you. They come from the grounded version of you, a clear version of you, the version of you that makes your space and owns it. This is the CEO mindset that we're resetting back to. So here's something I want you to remember. Not everything demanding your attention deserves your attention. Think about it. Some emails can wait. Some notifications aren't emergencies at all. And some opportunities are not actually opportunities. They're distractions dressed up as good ideas. That sentence alone is worth sitting with because entrepreneurs are often presented with so many possibilities that everything can start to feel important. But does it really align with what you want? So the importance of something and the alignment of something don't always coexist. So real leadership often looks surprisingly quiet. It may not look impressive from the outside, and that's okay. It may not give you that instant rush of checking something off your list, and that's okay too. Sometimes leadership looks like pausing before you say yes. Sometimes it looks like you're protecting your energy instead of giving everyone immediate access to it. Sometimes it looks like choosing your priorities instead of reacting to urgency. And sometimes it looks like you're trusting a slower, clearer decision that will serve your business better than a rush yes ever will. That is how sustainable business are built. Not by doing everything, not by answering every message the second it comes in, not by letting your calendar become the boss of you. Sustainable business are built when you begin or you decide when or what to give your energy to. What can wait? What can no longer serve you in this season of your business? So before you dive into another busy day, I want you to pause and ask yourself an honest question. What truly deserves my energy today? What feels urgent? What can actually wait until tomorrow? Am I leading my business or simply keeping myself busy? So these questions may not magically shorten your to-do list, but they will help you build a business that is aligned with what your vision is instead of your anxiety. So this that distinction actually matters because when you're constantly reacting, everything feels equally loud. But when you pause long enough to ask better questions, you begin to separate what truly is important from simple noise. So here's your challenge because you know we don't leave out of here without one. Tomorrow, before you open your email, before you check your notifications, before you scroll your social media, write down one decision or action that will move your business forward. Just one. That's it. Not don't want a whole entire list, not 20 things that are yelling at your attention. Just one thing that actually matters the most, and then do it first. Everything else becomes secondary because your job as a CEO is not to accomplish everything. Your job is to lead with intention. And yeah, I know it sounds simple, almost too simple, in fact, but simple doesn't always mean easy, and simple doesn't always mean small. This is how you begin retraining your brain to trust intention over urgency. And if you're listening to this and you're thinking, okay, but I've been operating on urgency for a long time, hear me out. You don't have to change everything overnight. Trust me, I understand. I've been there. I'm a business owner, so I'm here with you. You can just start with one pause, one choice, one boundary, one decision that reminds you I'm not here to prove my worth through exhaustion. I'm here to lead. I'm here to build with intention. And I'm here to create a business that supports my life that I actually want, not the one that keeps me constantly chasing the next task. And if nobody's told you this, you're allowed to be ambitious and still honor your capacity. So I would love to hear from you. What is the one thing you stopped treating as an emergency in your business? Share it in the comments because you may have the answer that another entrepreneur may need to hear today. And as always, if this episode gave you a little exhale and helped you name something that you've been feeling, because trust me, we've all been there, send it to another entrepreneur who may need that reminder too. And just remember, be inspired, be inspiring, be encouraged, be encouraging. But most of all, be you. And I'm cheering you on as you lead your business with more clarity, more intention, and a whole lot more grace. Take care.